think this is fascinating because it shows you how price action, you can actually watch price action and you can actually gauge the market. And so what I mean by that is over here, right? This right here was where Ripple, the numbers came out for Ripple or the judge's decision, and we saw an up move and then it reversed the next day, right? So just using common sense, you say, is that positive or is it negative that it reversed the next day? And the answer is it's negative. I mean, it came right back in. And what did price action do? It fell. Then we had the grayscale news, right? Popped 2 days later, it fell negative, right? So what we saw after that was it trickled down. And then you had this red candle, which the next day we 100% reversed. And so I think as a technician, even if you don't have anything else on your charts, that should be something that's giving you an inkling into what could come. And so again, reversal to the upside, that's bullish. What has price action done? It's moved up. And then we're getting that bounce today. So again, just watching candlesticks is amazing. For those of you out there that are watching this, is that it does give you insight. Now, nothing's 100%. We know that, but using that price action does tell you something. And I'll just say this. So Ben, you had that retrace kind of going on there. And what I had done is I basically took the highest point of the rally, right, since the lows of 15 and change, and you just connect it to this high here and right through this high, and look at what we get right there. And so basically you've had a pop today, but you're now hitting a little bit of resistance right there on that downsloping trend line. Now, again, could it break through? It could, and in which case you have this pivot high as your next point around 28,100 and change. But as a technician, you have to, I always say this to people, is you have to respect resistance until it's broken, because you can't assume. I mean, our emotions make us try to assume and say, oh, well, I really think it's going to break. But the answer is a wall until it breaks through the wall. It's a wall, right? So yeah, man, very cool to see your stuff. And kind of, I do agree that as of now, I would be in the reversal or pullback camp off of this move and fade this rally, essentially.
Bitcoins dance with Bollinger Bands. Bitcoin's on a roller coaster ride, and it's all about those Bollinger Bands. These bands are like Bitcoin's mood rings, and right now they're hinting at something big. John Bollinger, the creator of these bands, thinks Bitcoin's about to make a big move. When Bitcoin's daily candles touch the upper band, it's like the starting whistle for a race. It can either zoom back to the center band or charge into the land of wild volatility. Lately, these bands have been as tight as a drum, suggesting a big burst of excitement is coming. But as John says, can we do a walk up the upper band? Too early to answer, so stay tuned, folks. Fed's rate call, Bitcoin's wild ride, hold onto your hats. Bitcoin's going on a thrill ride. The Federal Reserve's meeting on September 20 is the big show. They're deciding whether to tweak interest rates, and Bitcoin's watching closely. If the Fed keeps things as it is, Bitcoin could be in for a party. But if they decide to hike rates, it might rain on Bitcoin's parade. Higher rates could make folks sell off their Bitcoin. Keep an eye on the Summary of Economic Projections, SEP2. It's like a crystal ball showing where the economy's headed. It could be a game changer for Bitcoin in 2023. Bitcoin versus Binance U.S. Trading troubles, Bitcoin's been flexing its muscles, hitting $27,000 in September. But the drama over at Binance U.S. is making waves too. Their monthly trading volume took a nosedive, plummeting 98% from January to August 2022. Ouch. It all started when the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission and the SEC came knocking on Binance's door. Lawsuits, regulatory trouble, and key executives saying goodbye. Binance U.S. has had a rough ride. Now they're facing the music with the SEC breathing down their necks. The SEC wanted a sneak peek at Binance U.S. attack, but a judge said, not so fast. It's all part of a legal tango that's left Binance. Those traders feeling queasy. So while Bitcoin's hitting highs, Binance U.S. is battling a storm. The crypto world's always full of surprises. Let's continue our enlightening discussion with Gareth Soloway.
You talk about large cap, the mega caps. You got Microsoft, you got Apple, you got Nvidia, the $1 trillion companies. And then you have the second tier, or maybe the fifth tier down. And you see the same thing in the stock market. This is Nvidia's chart, right? And this is the chart of Roku. Okay. So now let's bring up Apple right here. Well, let me just keep that. Let's go to SE over here. And then let's go to Apple over here. Right. So if we look at these, I mean, again, I'm just drawing this comparison because I want people to understand that this isn't just specific to crypto that this happens. This happens in every asset class. And you could see here, Apple rallied up, made new all-time highs, right? And look at something like C Limited, which, by the way, is a multi-billion-dollar company. It's just not a $1 trillion company. And you could go to like PayPal. I mean, PayPal, look at the chart on PayPal versus, let's go to Microsoft. And again, my point is just showing again how money tends to rotate when people are getting nervous or scared, or you have a bear market or a recession. It rotates into best of breed. Usually the next cycle is eventually a sell-off in all things. So eventually Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, they'll all sell off. But just like with altcoins, you're going to see PayPal go lower. You're going to see these other ones go even lower, AKA alts versus Bitcoin. And again, I think that's such an important point to showcase, is that the mentality of what happens in markets is universal. There's no like, oh, it's just for this type of market environment. It's humans, right? Humans are buying and selling crypto. Humans are buying and selling stocks, and therefore it's the same. And what's fascinating about oil right now is that it's creating a situation where the higher it goes, it makes it harder for the Federal Reserve to justify stopping, right? Because right. I mean, just the CPI, PPI numbers we just got and other data, it's showing that inflation is upticking mainly because of energy prices here. And again, it's a tax, right? Energy, when you go to the gas station and it's $4 a gallon or $5 or whatever it is, that's a tax on the average person that drives. So yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it that it brings that likelihood of recession even firmer into view because of that.
What are your views on the dollar? Because, the dollar, I believe if you count them up, we're now at 9 straight green weeks. And I have been very bullish on the dollar because I also think the dollar rallies into a recession. And one of the reasons I think that is because I think that when the dollar rallies, that's going to basically suck liquidity out of the market, right? And that sucking liquidity out of the market will eventually make its way over to the equity markets. I don't think it's done that yet, but I think eventually it will. I think it hits crypto first, and it has been. But I mean, this is like a very just slow and systematic rise. Well, maybe not slow, right? But just a very continuous rise by the dollar. Do you think it gets any short-term pullback soon, or are you more in the camp of just keep on rising?
Yeah, so I am in that camp about expecting a little bit of a pullback or a little retrace here. And again, number one, we have this kind of a little bit of a channel, right? So you're coming closer to this high pivot right here, which also mirrors this high little pivot. So again, there will be some resistance up here. And again, anytime you have 9 straight, I think you said 9 straight weeks of upside, there's just a tendency where something gets tired. I mean, if you run 9 marathons in a row or 9 whatever miles in a row, you tend to get tired. So again, doesn't necessarily tell us where it is in 6 months from now, but as it gets into this line here around 106, 105.85 on the Dixie, you would probably begin to look for a pullback. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to pivot over to gold here, because this is where, for me, like if you look at the price action on gold over that period, it's amazingly strong considering. So usually we know that the dollar is an inverse player to gold. And what you're seeing here on gold is that it's holding up amazingly well over that same situation or that same period. In fact, just looking at the last couple of days, gold's been going higher. But I would just point out this trend line right here. Huge trend line. We haven't broken it yet. It's around 1935 or so. But if you get a break above here, I think you go back very, very quickly to this 2075, 2080 level. And the catalyst for that would be imagine how well gold is performing in this environment. Now, with the dollar going up, now imagine a pullback in the dollar. What does gold then do? So if gold can go up or sideways in a very strong dollar environment, what happens when the dollar does pull back? Gold should rip higher in that scenario. So I'm really I'm loving the price action on gold here.
That wraps up today's crypto news highlights. Stay tuned for more updates, insights, and analysis from the world of cryptocurrencies. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.